Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel, where we uncover the fascinating stories behind America's coinage. Today, we dive deep into a seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin, the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it looks like just another nickel you might find in your pocket change, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. From its complex history to its unexpected rarity in certain conditions, the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel holds a unique place in the world of modern numismatics. Stay tuned as we explore why this coin can be worth thousands of dollars under the right circumstances, how to identify valuable specimens, and what collectors are paying for them in 2025. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse of the coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse depicts his famous home, Monticello. For decades, this design remained largely unchanged, becoming one of the most recognizable coins in American history. By the early 1980s, the Philadelphia Mint had fully adopted the use of the P mint mark on its nickels. While the first P appeared on the 5-cent coin in 1980, the 1982 P is only the third year this mint mark was applied to Jefferson Nickels. In 1982, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 290 million Jefferson nickels bearing the P mint mark. That figure might lead many to believe that the coin is extremely common and unremarkable. However, the story is much more nuanced when we start to look beyond mere mintage numbers and into the details of quality, condition, and production quirks. Like all Jefferson nickels of the era, the 1982 P coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy. It weighs 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. The obverse displays Jefferson facing left, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year of mintage, 1982. The reverse of the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, along with the inscriptions, "E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America." A key feature that plays a major role in the value of Jefferson nickels, especially those minted in the 1980s, is the sharpness of the Monticello steps. This is where the full steps designation comes into play, a topic we'll explore in depth shortly. One critical factor that affects the availability and condition of 1982 coins, including the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel, is the fact that the U.S. Mint did not issue traditional mint sets for that year. Normally, mint sets are an important source of high-quality, uncirculated coins for collectors. Without the release of government-issued mint sets in 1982, collectors had fewer opportunities to obtain pristine examples of coins directly from the mint. This gap meant that most coins entered circulation immediately, and many were exposed to wear and damage, reducing the number of high-grade survivors. As a result, finding 1982 P. Jefferson nickels in uncirculated or gem condition becomes significantly more difficult than for coins of other years with similar mintage figures. This lack of mint sets inadvertently created a scarcity in high-grade specimens, despite the high number of coins produced. The most important concepts in Jefferson nickel collecting: the full steps designation. This refers to the clarity and completeness of the horizontal steps on Monticello, which are located at the base of the structure on the reverse side of the coin. To qualify as a full steps nickel, a coin must show at least 5 or 6 clearly separated steps with no major interruptions, wear, or marks. This level of detail requires a very strong and well-aligned strike, as well as excellent die quality. Unfortunately, many 1982 P. Jefferson nickels were struck using worn or misaligned dies. This resulted in weak or mushy details, particularly on the Monticello steps. As a result, coins with strong full steps from this year are considered significantly more rare and are highly sought after by collectors. A regular uncirculated 1982 P. Jefferson nickel may have modest value, but one with full steps can be worth exponentially more, sometimes even thousands of dollars depending on its condition and certification. Circulated examples, those that have been used in commerce and show signs of wear, are still quite common and usually only worth face value, around 5 cents. However, Lightly circulated or well-preserved examples in extremely fine or about uncirculated condition may be worth $1 or $2 to the right buyer, especially if the steps are visible. Uncirculated coins, meaning those with no signs of wear and still retaining their original mint luster, can be worth anywhere from $5 to $20, depending on the sharpness of strike and eye appeal. Coins graded MS-63 or MS-64 typically fall into this range. When we move into gem condition, grades of MS-65 and higher, the value increases significantly. These coins are relatively scarce, particularly due to the lack of mint sets in 1982. A standard MS-65 1982 P. Jefferson nickel without full steps might sell for $30 to $60, while MS-66 coins can range from $80 to $150. The real excitement begins with coins that are both high grade and have full steps. An MS-65 full steps example can easily command $200 to $300. MS-66 full steps coins are even rarer and often bring in over $1,000. The highest known grades, such as MS-67 or MS-67 Plus with full steps, have achieved prices of several $1,000s at auction. In the most extreme cases, especially for coins with attractive toning or superior eye appeal, prices have reached or exceeded $10,000. These represent the top end of the market and are fiercely pursued by advanced collectors and registry set participants. So what drives the value of the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel so dramatically? It comes down to three primary factors: condition, scarcity, and collector demand. Condition refers to the preservation of the coin surface. Uncirculated and gem-quality coins are always worth more than those that show wear. Scarcity plays a major role as well, especially for full steps examples, which are relatively rare for this year. Finally, collector demand pushes prices higher, especially for coins that qualify for grading registry sets, where collectors compete to build the highest graded collections. Coins with full steps are essential for many collectors, and finding high-grade specimens from a year with no mint set production makes this particular issue even more desirable. If you want to search for a valuable 1982 P. Jefferson nickel, here's what to look for. Start by checking pocket change, coin rolls, or old jars. These coins are still out there. Look for uncirculated examples with minimal marks, good luster, and a clean appearance. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect the steps on Monticello. If all 5 or 6 steps are sharp and uninterrupted, you might have a full steps example. Consider submitting your best finds to a reputable grading service. A certified high-grade full steps coin can fetch a premium and is easier to sell. As of 2025, the market for modern U.S. coins remains strong, particularly for coins in exceptional condition. With registry sets continuing to gain popularity, competition for top-graded coins is fierce. The 1982 P. Jefferson nickel is likely to remain a desirable coin among Jefferson series collectors. The limited availability of high-grade full steps examples keeps demand high, and prices for the finest coins will likely continue to climb. If you're holding on to a few of these in uncirculated condition, now may be a great time to have them evaluated. And if you're a collector looking to fill a tough spot in your Jefferson nickel registry, the 1982 P may be one of the most challenging yet rewarding finds. The 1982 P. Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how even the most ordinary-looking coins can hold extraordinary stories and surprising value. Whether you're a new collector just learning the ropes or a seasoned numismatist with a sharp eye, this coin offers both a challenge and a potential reward. We're going to explore the fascinating story, market value, and hidden rarity of the 1987 no-mint Mark Washington $quarter coin. This is not your average quarter. While millions were minted that year, a small number of these coins carry subtle but powerful variations that have turned them into prized collectibles. Most notably, the absence of a mint mark on a coin that, by all standards, should have had one. But is it truly rare? Could yours be worth hundreds of dollars? And how do you tell if you have a valuable error or just another piece of everyday change? The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. Originally introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the design was so well received that it became the standard issue for the quarter denomination. Fast forward to 1987, a time when the U.S. Mint was operating at full speed. The country was in the midst of major economic changes. The collecting community was growing, but digital tracking of rare coins was still in its infancy. That year, 3 major U.S. mints were producing quarters: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint typically marks its coins with a small letter, P. This began in 1980 and was intended to clearly distinguish coins from different production facilities. The Denver Mint marks its coins with a D, while the San Francisco Mint, responsible for proof coins, uses an S. In 1987, over 582 million quarters were minted in Philadelphia, over 655 million in Denver, and approximately 4.2 million proof versions were struck in San Francisco. So in such massive numbers, how can one coin stand out? The answer lies in anomalies, unexpected deviations in minting processes that result in coins being struck without their intended mint mark, or with other striking errors that are not easy to replicate. In theory, all 1987 Philadelphia quarters should bear the P mint mark. By that point in history, the United States Mint had standardized mint mark inclusion for all coinage intended for circulation. Therefore, a 1987 quarter without a mint mark shouldn't exist, unless something went wrong during production. Now, let's be clear. Not every quarter missing a mint mark is valuable. Some coins have worn down over time, especially if circulated heavily. However, there are instances where the coin left the mint without ever having a mint mark in the first place. This can happen due to a fill die error, when grease or debris fills the mint mark portion of the die, preventing it from stamping the mark onto the coin. In rare cases, dies meant for different production lines are misused. These types of errors are infrequent and, when verified, can become extremely desirable to collectors. So how can you tell if your 1987 quarter is a genuine no mint mark error and not just a worn or damaged coin? The answer lies in expert authentication. Numismatic professionals examine strike quality, die characteristics, and surface integrity to confirm a true error. It's not something that can be reliably verified with the naked eye or household magnifying glasses. Outside of mint mark anomalies, the 1987 Washington quarter also saw a number of documented striking errors that have fetched impressive sums at auctions and private sales. Off-center strikes. This error occurs when the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly seated in the press. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, values can range from a modest premium to several $100s. A 15 to 25% off-center 1987 quarter in mint state can sell for upwards of $50. Broad-struck errors. These result when the collar die fails to engage, allowing the metal to spread outward. The finished coin appears larger and distorted but still recognizable. A broad-struck 1987 quarter in excellent condition can bring in $20 to $80. Double strikes. Coins struck more than once by the press without ejecting fully. The result is a coin with overlapping images. These are among the more eye-catching errors and can be valued from $100 to $300 depending on severity and preservation. Clipped planchets. When the coin blank is punched too close to the edge of the metal strip, resulting in a crescent-shaped clip on the final coin. Multi-clipped or triple-clipped 1987 quarters have reached auction prices as high as $150. Mated pairs. A mated pair is a rare occurrence where two planchets are involved in a striking error together. These sets are extremely scarce and have been known to reach $400 or more when authenticated and sold together. These error types showcase the complexity and unpredictability of coin production, even with the high-precision machinery used by the U.S. Mint. As of the year 2025, the numismatic market has remained strong, particularly for authenticated, high-grade coins and error varieties. Regular circulated 1987 quarters, these are typically worth face value. Most carry no premium unless they are in excellent condition or contain an error. Mint state coins, MS 65 and above. A 1987 quarter from Philadelphia graded MS 65 may bring in around $18. A Denver counterpart in the same grade may be worth $7 to $10. As you reach MS 67 and higher, values can jump significantly. An MS 67 Philadelphia example can fetch upwards of $300, while a Denver coin at this level may command $340 or more. Proof coins, San Francisco Mint. While not circulated, these coins are often collected in sets. A PR 70 1987 S-proof quarter can range from $20 to $250 depending on demand and condition. Verified no mint mark error coins, this is where values become harder to pin down. Because each error is unique, and many are subject to expert analysis and collector interest, prices can range dramatically. However, authenticated no mint mark 1987 quarters have been known to sell for over $500 in auctions when paired with strong visual evidence and professional grading. Major error coins, coins with dramatic off-center strikes, broad strikes, or double strikes can sell for anywhere from $40 to $400 depending on the severity and clarity of the error. Remember, demand, rarity, and visual appeal all influence market prices. A coin with a strong strike, brilliant luster, and dramatic error will always attract higher bids than a similar coin with dull surfaces or partial strike stud. If you believe you have a valuable 1987 Washington quarter, here's what to do next: don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can drastically reduce its value. Even minor polishing can be detected by grading experts and may result in a lower grade or rejection. Get it graded. Professional grading from a recognized service like PCGS or NGC is essential for verifying authenticity and establishing market value. Use proper storage. Keep your coin in a non-reactive holder or flip. Avoid PVC-based plastic, which can damage metal over time. Do your research. Not every no mint mark coin is an error. Compare your coin to verified examples, and if in doubt, consult a numismatist. Sell strategically. Consider timing your sale with market trends. Auction houses, coin shows, and collector forums may help you reach more serious buyers than general resale platforms. The 1987 no mint mark Washington $quarter coin is a perfect example of how even the most common coins can become uncommon treasures. Whether it's a filled die error, an off-center strike, or a pristine high-grade specimen, this humble quarter can represent both history and hidden value. So next time you're going through your change, don't overlook the quarters. You might just find a piece of numismatic history waiting to be discovered. We focus on a coin millions of Americans have handled without a second thought: the 1987 D. Lincoln Memorial penny. Is it just another common coin, or could it be a valuable gem tucked away in your spare change? The answer may surprise you. In this video, we'll explore the full story behind the 1987 D penny. From its historical roots to modern-day market values, minting details, collectible errors, and what makes certain examples worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars in today's market. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, originally introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin features the iconic bust of Lincoln, a design so enduring it remains in use to this day. The reverse of the coin changed in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, replacing the wheat stalks of the earlier design with the Lincoln Memorial. This version of the coin, known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, was created by Frank Gasparo and would be minted until 2008. By 1987, the Lincoln Memorial design had already been a familiar sight in American currency for nearly 3 decades. That year, the United States Mint continued striking the Lincoln Memorial Cent at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins bearing the D Mint mark were struck in Denver and are the focus of our discussion today. The 1987 D penny was produced at the Denver Mint with an astonishing mintage of approximately 4.88 billion coins. This high mintage figure positions the coin as common in general circulation. However, as with all coins, rarity is not solely determined by how many were minted. It also depends on condition. surviving populations in higher grades, and the presence of unique errors or die varieties. The 1987 D penny is composed of a copper-plated zinc core, a composition that had been in place since the U.S. Mint transitioned away from the mostly copper alloy used in pre-1982 cents. This coin weighs 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 19 millimeters, and features a smooth edge, due to the use of zinc with a thin copper plating. Post-1982 pennies like the 1987 D are more prone to corrosion, spotting, and environmental damage. For collectors, finding pristine examples in original red luster has become increasingly challenging, particularly in higher mint state grades. As of 2025, the value of a 1987 D penny heavily depends on its condition. In circulated grades, most examples are only worth face value. These are the pennies you'll find in change jars, parking meters, or worn down in your pocket. However, when uncirculated examples are submitted for grading by professional services and receive high grades, the value can increase dramatically. In mint state 60 to 63, the coin may be worth a few cents to $1. In mint state 64 and 65, values can range from $1 to several dollars, depending on the brilliance of the luster and the presence of any contact marks. In mint state 66, these coins start to attract more serious collectors and can sell for $10 or more. In mint state 67, the coin is considered a high-end example and can reach values between $25 and $75 or higher, depending on market conditions and demand. In mint state 68 and beyond, the coin becomes very rare. Fewer than a handful are known in such condition, and examples graded at this level have fetched prices in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. The reality is, for a coin that started as a lowly 1-cent piece, condition alone can be the difference between pocket change and a premium collectible. While the base coin is relatively common, certain varieties and mint errors dramatically increase its value. Collectors and error specialists seek these anomalies, as they often represent unique moments of imperfection in an otherwise standardized minting process. Some of the most notable errors to watch for on the 1987 D penny include: when the blank planchet is not properly aligned under the dies, it results in an off-center strike. Mild off-centers of 5 to 10% may bring modest premiums, while dramatic off-center strikes of 30 to 60% with visible date and mint mark can fetch values ranging from $25 to over $150. Although less common for the 1987 D, any double die on Lincoln's profile, lettering, or date can add considerable value. These varieties require close inspection, often under magnification, because the coin is copper-plated zinc. Sometimes the copper layer is not applied correctly, or it flakes off after minting. A penny that appears silver in color could be missing its copper layer, and if verified, these errors can be worth $50 to $250 or more. Raised lines or blobs on the surface of the coin caused by damaged or worn dies are relatively common but can still attract collector interest. Larger cuds or retained die breaks can command premiums depending on size and visual appeal. On some examples, the Denver Mint mark may appear doubled or repunched. These are subtle but collectible anomalies that can raise a coin's desirability. If you believe you have one of these errors, it is highly advisable to have the coin authenticated and graded by a reputable third-party grading service. In 2025, the coin collecting hobby remains strong, and Lincoln Cents are a foundational series for collectors both new and experienced. The 1987 D penny, while not considered rare in the traditional sense, benefits from increased awareness of conditional rarity and the appeal of modern error coins. Online marketplaces, coin shows, and auctions regularly feature high-grade examples and errors from this year. While most circulated coins remain at face value, properly stored uncirculated rolls, certified high-grade singles, and error coins continue to see active bidding and buying. Collectors interested in building a Lincoln Memorial Cent set often seek coins like the 1987 D in MS66 or higher, with full red coloration. The red designation indicates a coin retains at least 95% of its original copper color, a feature that becomes less common as coins tone or dull over time. For investors, modern copper-plated zinc pennies have limited bullion value, but coins with extreme condition rarity or dramatic errors offer speculative appeal. Their value is driven not by metal content but by collector demand, visual uniqueness, and grading. Population reports. If it's a common, worn example found in your change, it may not be worth more than a cent. However, if the coin appears uncirculated, has bright red luster, or shows signs of a striking error, then absolutely, it could be worth holding onto or submitting for grading. In the coin collecting world, knowledge is power. The 1987 D penny is a perfect example of a coin that, on the surface, looks ordinary, but with the right combination of grade, preservation, and rarity, it can become an extraordinary piece in your collection. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the 1987 D Lincoln Memorial Cent. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe the Expensive Coins History channel, and turn on notifications for more coin collecting insights. Share your own discoveries or questions in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Until next time, keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and remember, sometimes, even a penny can be a treasure.